Hello Lakers fan, if you are one of those who are always up to date with the news about our Lakers, then you need to stay tuned to what is coming up on our Lakers news channel. I am preparing exclusive coverage on the possible signings of Lakers, and what I can tell you is that rumors are catching fire on social media, and if you don't want to miss any information, stay tuned. We have exclusive news every day. If you are a true Lakers and don't want to be left out of the news, be sure to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Let's go to the video.
Mavericks CEO Rick Welts has no regrets about trading Luka Doncic. The backlash came swiftly. When the Dallas Mavericks traded Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers, the reaction from fans and media alike was immediate and overwhelmingly negative. Many questioned not only the decision to move on from their franchise cornerstone, but also the return they received in the deal and the reasoning behind such a seismic shift. But inside the organization, there's no second guessing. In an interview with Bloomberg TV, Mavericks CEO Rick Welts made it clear he stands by the decision to trade Doncic, and he harbors no regrets. "You can't operate with fear or regrets in this business," Welts said. "It's all about how you move forward. Looking back doesn't help. What I will say is, I've learned a lot about the depth of connection between Mavs fans and this team, and that's the silver lining. I knew we could rebuild that connection, I just didn't expect it to happen as fast as it has." An emotional return, and a farewell done right. Welts also reflected on Doncic's return to Dallas as a member of the Lakers, his first game back at American Airlines Center. "I'm incredibly proud of how our organization handled that night," he said. "It gave our fans the chance to say thank you. You could see the emotion on Luka's face, you could feel the energy. That was more than just a game, it was a tribute." Welts added, "Luka will always be a part of our story. We wish him nothing but the best in Los Angeles, but of course we hope to beat him every single time we play. No regrets, but the pressure is real." Welts may be choosing to look forward, but there's no denying the emotional weight this trade still carries for Mavericks fans. Seeing Luka, now in the best shape of his life, leading a Lakers team poised for a deep playoff run is a bitter pill to swallow. Yes, Dallas landed Cooper Flagg, a generational talent and the centerpiece of their future. And yes, the energy around the team has been recharged. But for many fans, that doesn't erase the sting of watching Luka dominate in purple and gold. The truth is, resentment still lingers. And if Doncic delivers a championship to Los Angeles before the Mavericks win another title of their own, that sense of regret, no matter what Welts says now, could start to creep in. Luka's off-season transformation, more than just motivation. One narrative gaining steam is that the trade motivated Doncic to transform his body and finally reach peak physical condition. But sources close to the star suggest otherwise. Luka's off-season transformation was already in motion before the deal with the Lakers went through. He had committed to changing his routine, improving his nutrition, and coming into the next season with a renewed focus, not because he was traded, but because he knew it was time. Still, the timing makes for a powerful storyline. A franchise icon let go, only to re-emerge stronger, faster, and more determined than ever, wearing a Lakers jersey. Looking ahead, redemption or regret? Rick Welts is betting on the future. He's betting that Cooper Flagg can be the face of a new era in Dallas, that the front office can rebuild trust with fans, and that time will heal what the Luka trade cracked open. But the clock is ticking. If Doncic hoists a trophy in Los Angeles before the Mavericks can do the same, no regrets might become a much harder stance to maintain. And the fanbase, loyal but wounded, won't easily forget what could have been. A franchise-defining gamble, with long-term consequences. The Mavericks didn't just trade away a superstar, they traded away a symbol. Luka Doncic was the face of the franchise, the heir to Dirk Nowitzki, and the hope of an entire fanbase that had been waiting for its next championship window to open. By moving him, Dallas made a bold statement: no one is untouchable, and no era lasts forever. Whether that gamble pays off will depend largely on how quickly Cooper Flagg develops, how well the Mavericks retool around him, and whether the fanbase has the patience to endure another rebuild. Early signs are promising. Flagg has impressed in Summer League and brought a jolt of energy back to Dallas, but expectations will be sky-high from day one. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, Doncic has already made his presence felt. Luka's new chapter, Hollywood spotlight, championship aspirations. Since arriving in LA, Luka has leaned fully into the challenge and the spotlight. Reports from Lakers training camp describe him as leaner, quicker, and more focused than ever. He's already formed a strong connection with co-star Anthony Davis, and the team is being quietly touted as a serious contender in the West. For Lakers fans, the acquisition of Doncic represents a dream come true, a modern megastar with the charisma, skill, and swagger to carry the franchise into a new golden era. For Mavericks fans, watching him potentially win elsewhere is the stuff of nightmares. Media and fan backlash, a slow burn. While Rick Welts has been consistent in defending the trade, the fan response has been anything but unified. Social media remains split, with many expressing cautious optimism about Flag, while others continue to vent their frustration over letting go of a generational talent still in his prime. Sports analysts have been equally divided. Some have praised Dallas for making a proactive move before tensions behind the scenes could escalate further. Others have called it one of the most risky trades in modern NBA history. On ESPN's NBA Countdown, analyst Kendrick Perkins put it bluntly. You don't trade Luka Doncic unless you're absolutely forced to. I don't care what you get back. You figure it out, you build around him, period. The locker room effect, a reset in culture. Inside the Mavericks locker room, the vibe is clearly different. With Luka gone, the team is younger, more balanced, and potentially more unified, but also missing that one transcendent figure who could take over any game, in any moment. Sources close to the organization say the mood is focused, but uncertain. Cooper Flag has taken on a leadership role much earlier than expected, and while his maturity has impressed coaches, the pressure is immense. Veterans like Derek White and Dorian Finney-Smith have stepped up to guide the transition, but the burden of replacing Doncic, both on the court and in the hearts of fans, still looms large. What happens if the Lakers win first? It's the uncomfortable question Mavericks leadership is quietly bracing for. What if Luka wins a title in Los Angeles before Dallas even returns to contention? Such a scenario would not only reignite fan anger, but also invite scrutiny over the entire decision-making process. Rick Welts may not regret the trade now, but public pressure has a way of changing perspectives. If Luka hoists the Larry O'Brien trophy in purple and gold, it will likely be seen as a vindication of his vision, not the Mavericks. Final thought, the trade that changed everything. The Mavericks didn't just make a deal, they set a new course for the future. Whether that future leads to redemption or regret remains to be seen. For now, Rick Welts stands firm. For now, the fanbase is watching. And for now, Luka Doncic is thriving, just not in Dallas. Rich Paul breaks silence on LeBron James trade rumors. He holds the power. LeBron James' future with the Los Angeles Lakers has been a hot topic this offseason. After opting into the final year of his contract, speculation swirled about whether the NBA's all-time leading scorer would remain in purple and gold, especially if the team failed to make meaningful improvements to compete for a title. While LeBron has never formally requested a trade, his camp has made it clear, he's paying close attention to what the Lakers are doing this summer. The Lakers made some smart, if subtle, roster moves. But for many observers, they haven't done enough to elevate themselves into the league's true inner circle of contenders. And the question still lingers, is LeBron satisfied? The answer might lie in his no-trade clause, a rare privilege in the NBA and one that gives LeBron complete control over his fate. The Lakers cannot trade him without his consent, and that dynamic shifts the power entirely into his hands. He has a no-trade clause. End of story. In a recent appearance on the Title Show Live, LeBron's longtime agent and Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul addressed the growing wave of trade rumors and set the record straight. The guy has a no-trade clause. End of story, Paul said. If a player has a no-trade clause and the team wants to move him, he can say no. That's in his contract. The decision is his. In short, if LeBron were to leave the Lakers, it would only happen on his terms, not because the franchise decided to move on. Is a trade even realistic? Despite the buzz, there's no indication that the Lakers are looking to trade LeBron. And from a logistical standpoint, the odds are low. At 40 years old, with a massive contract and championship or bust expectations, LeBron's value is both enormous and complicated. Only a handful of teams could realistically absorb his salary while offering a package that wouldn't gut their roster. That kind of deal is tough to pull off, especially during a short off-season. Still, even if the likelihood of a trade remains small, Paul's comments, notably not dismissing the possibility outright, have kept the door open just enough to keep the rumors alive. What's more likely? LeBron stays, for now. The most probable outcome is still LeBron finishing this season as a Laker, and then entering unrestricted free agency next summer, giving him total freedom to choose where, or even if, he continues playing. Whether he stays in LA, joins another contender, or surprises everyone with a new direction will depend on how this upcoming season unfolds, both on and off the court. One thing's for sure, his next move will be calculated, deliberate, and entirely his. LeBron and the Jokic connection? Strictly business. Fueling the speculation further was a recent report that LeBron James and his business partner, Maverick Carter, met with the agent of Denver Nuggets star and three-time MVP Nikola Jokic. The meeting quickly sparked rumors about a potential future partnership, perhaps even LeBron angling for a move to Denver or looking to recruit Jokic for a new project. But according to multiple sources, the meeting was strictly business-related and had nothing to do with basketball. It was tied to Maverick Carter's developing basketball league venture, which is expected to launch in the coming years and aims to bring innovation to the sport through athlete-driven media and global expansion. Final thoughts. All eyes on LeBron, as always. As the 2024-25 season approaches, LeBron James once again finds himself at the center of NBA conversation. Whether it's trade chatter, championship hopes, or off-court partnerships, the King's influence remains unmatched. For now, he's staying in LA. But with a no-trade clause and full control of his future, the next chapter in LeBron's legendary career is his to write, and the league is watching closely. Lakers fans divided, but the franchise stays the course. Within LakersNation, the response to LeBron's uncertain future has been mixed. Many fans remain hopeful, trusting that James will stay committed to finishing what he started in Los Angeles. After all, he delivered a championship in 2020, became the league's all-time leading scorer in a Lakers jersey, and continues to perform at an elite level even at 40. But there's a growing segment of the fan base voicing concern, not just about the rumors, but about the lack of urgency they feel from the front office. Critics argue that the team is squandering LeBron's final years by failing to make bold moves in free agency or via trade to solidify their status as legitimate title contenders. The signing of players like Gabe Vincent and the retention of key role players such as Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura were smart, but not splashy. And for a superstar like LeBron, good enough isn't always enough. Front office under pressure to deliver. Privately, league insiders say the Lakers front office is well aware of the stakes. General manager Rob Pelinka is walking a fine line, trying to remain flexible with future cap space while keeping the current roster competitive. The challenge? Striking that balance while keeping LeBron James happy, especially with his close friend and son, Bronny James, now on the roster. The Lakers selected Bronny in the 2024 NBA draft, a move that many saw as both a long-term investment and a gesture of goodwill toward LeBron. Still, even with Bronny in the building, the elder James has made it clear, winning comes first. If the Lakers start slow this season or continue to fall short of serious contention, the pressure on the front office, and the speculation around LeBron's future, will only intensify. The bigger picture, what LeBron's next move means for the NBA. LeBron James has long operated as more than just a basketball player. He's a brand, a mogul, and a movement. Wherever he goes, attention follows. And any potential shift in his status, trade, free agency, or even retirement, has ripple effects across the entire league. Teams that feel they're just one piece away are already watching closely, positioning themselves as potential suitors if James does hit the open market next summer. Market size, roster fit, ownership vision, and lifestyle options will all play a role if LeBron decides to leave Los Angeles. What's at stake isn't just another contract. It could be his final chapter, one that defines how his career is remembered. A quiet storm, until it isn't. For now, Rich Paul's message is clear: LeBron holds the keys. But in the background, there's a quiet storm brewing, one that could erupt if this Lakers season doesn't go according to plan. If the team struggles, if frustrations mount, and if LeBron sees the writing on the wall, the narrative could flip overnight. Suddenly, the idea of James leaving Los Angeles, once unthinkable, becomes very real. And with his no-trade clause, he could engineer a final power move, choosing his destination, his timeline, and perhaps even the ending to his unparalleled career. Final word, LeBron's legacy is still being written. Whether LeBron James stays in Los Angeles, moves to a new contender, or simply rides out this contract before free agency, one truth remains. He's still the most powerful figure in basketball, not just because of his game, but because of how he controls the game around him. This off-season has been quieter than most in terms of action, but don't mistake silence for stillness. The pieces are moving behind the scenes. And as always, when it comes to LeBron, the story is far from over. Bronny James reveals why he refuses to re-watch his historic Lakers debut with LeBron. It was one of the most unforgettable moments in NBA history. LeBron James sharing the court with his son, Bronny James, in a Los Angeles Lakers uniform. It marked the first time a father and son ever played in the same NBA game, a milestone that was years in the making and something LeBron had publicly dreamed about. And yet, despite the emotional weight of that moment, Bronny has never watched it back. In fact, he's chosen not to. In a recent interview with ESPN's Dave McMenamin, Bronny opened up about his decision, and it's surprisingly grounded in humility. "If you really know me, you know I don't like the spotlight when it comes to big moments," Bronny said. "It was a great experience, being part of that father-son first in the NBA, but I'm a low-key guy. I don't like all that attention. That stuff comes with time, but yeah, I don't really like looking back. I'll watch clips when I play well and get good minutes, but not that moment." A different kind of James, humble, quietly focused. Bronny's words paint a picture of a young man carving out his own path, away from the massive shadow cast by his father. While LeBron has never shied away from the spotlight, embracing both the pressure and the platform that come with being one of the greatest of all time, Bronny's mindset is refreshingly different. He's not chasing history for the cameras. He's chasing growth, development, opportunity. That mindset is one of the reasons he hasn't allowed himself to dwell on the moment he shared with his father, a moment that captivated fans around the world but for Bronny, was simply a step along the journey, not the destination. He's focused on what's next, not what was. Though Bronny's rookie season saw limited action, averaging just 2.3 points, 0.7 rebounds, and 0.8 assists per game, his performance in the Summer League showed signs of promise. More importantly, it gave him confidence heading into his second year. Now, he's setting his sights on earning a real spot in the Lakers' rotation. That means grinding through training camp, earning trust from the coaching staff, and proving that he's more than just a feel-good story. For Bronny, legacy isn't measured in viral highlights or symbolic moments. It's about building something lasting, through discipline, improvement, and time. Maybe one day he'll watch it. There's a sense that Bronny's refusal to watch the footage isn't about denying the significance of the moment, it's about deferring it. He knows what that night meant, to him, to his father, and to the league. But he's not ready to reflect on it yet. Maybe years from now, when his playing days are behind him, when he has a story of his own to tell, he'll sit down and relive that night. And maybe then, with the weight of the present behind him, he'll see it for what it truly was, the beginning of something rare and beautiful. Until then, Bronny James remains focused on what he can control, getting better, staying grounded, and writing the next chapter in his own voice. Media reactions. Praise for Bronny's maturity. Bronny's remarks quickly made waves around the NBA media landscape, not for shock value, but for the maturity behind his message. Pundits and former players praised the 19-year-old for showing humility in a league that often magnifies hype over substance. On ESPN's NBA Today, analyst J.J. Redick said, "What stood out to me wasn't that he didn't want to rewatch the moment, it's that he's focused on becoming a better player. He's not leaning on the history he helped make. That tells me his head is in the right place." Others echoed that sentiment, noting that while Bronny is part of basketball royalty, he's not entitled, he's earning everything. LeBron's role, supportive, but letting Bronny lead. LeBron James has made it clear, playing with his son was a dream come true, but he doesn't want Bronny's development to be overshadowed by legacy talk. Behind the scenes, he's been careful not to intervene too much, allowing Bronny to grow at his own pace. In interviews, LeBron has praised his son's work ethic and mental toughness, often emphasizing that Bronny isn't just his son, he's a player trying to make it on merit. This supportive but hands-off approach has helped Bronny build credibility in the Lakers locker room, where veterans have welcomed him not as LeBron's kid, but as a teammate who shows up early, listens, and competes. The pressure is still there, but so is the potential. Even with all the composure and poise Bronny has shown, the pressure is undeniable. Every move he makes, every dribble, every missed shot, every bucket, is scrutinized far more than it would be for any other second-round pick. But what makes Bronny's journey compelling isn't the hype, it's the fact that he's actively trying to tune it out. He's not chasing the headlines. He's chasing minutes. And while his stats last season were modest, his defensive effort and basketball IQ earned praise from Lakers coaches, who see a high-ceiling role player in the making. This upcoming season could be a turning point. With a strong showing in training camp, Bronny has a real chance to crack the rotation, not because of his name, but because he's putting in the work. Fans beginning to see him differently. Lakers fans, too, are starting to shift their perspective. What began as curiosity, or even skepticism, is slowly turning into respect. Seeing Bronny take the quieter path, embracing the grind rather than the headlines, is winning people over. He may not be a superstar in the making just yet, but he's starting to be recognized as his own player, and that's arguably the hardest battle he's had to fight. Looking ahead, writing his own legacy. There's a quiet determination to Bronny James, a desire to earn his place, to separate his story from his father's without rejecting the bond they share. That's not an easy balance, but so far, he's handling it with grace. As the new season approaches, the focus isn't just on what Bronny has already done. It's on what comes next, the practices, the preseason reps, the moments that don't go viral but matter just as much. Because if Bronny James continues on this path, the most memorable moment of his career won't be playing alongside his dad, it'll be what he builds on his own. Blockbuster Lakers trade proposal sends $193 million deal to All-Star Game, LeBron, Bronny James, and more. A bold new trade idea involving LeBron James could dramatically shift the future of the Los Angeles Lakers, and bring in a massive consolation prize. Letting go of a legend like LeBron is no small move, but it's becoming increasingly clear that the Lakers may be ready to turn the page and reimagine their future around five-time All-NBA guard Luka Doncic. At just 26 years old, Doncic is a staggering 14 years younger than LeBron, who's nearing his 41st birthday. After 2 straight seasons ending in first-round playoff exits, James appears visibly frustrated, despite playing with very different supporting casts. To be fair, part of the Lakers' recent struggles stem from LeBron's massive contract, his declining defensive impact, and the ever-present threat of injury. While he's no longer the 4-time MVP he once was, LeBron remains an offensive powerhouse, a player capable of turning the tide of a game, even if he can no longer bring elite energy on both ends for long playoff stretches. Now, Bleacher Report's Greg Swartz has floated a daring 3-team deal that could reshape the league. The trade would send LeBron and his son Bronny James back to the team that originally drafted him No. 1 overall in 2003, the Cleveland Cavaliers, while also setting the Lakers up for a fresh chapter and giving Luka Doncic a future All-Star co-star in the mold of Kyrie Irving. Proposed trade. Cleveland Cavaliers receive LeBron James, Bronny James, and $24.1 million in cap relief. Los Angeles Lakers receive Darius Garland, DeAndre Hunter, Max Strus. Brooklyn Nets receive Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, 2031 first-round pick, via Lakers. This deal isn't just about bringing LeBron home, it makes financial and strategic sense for all sides. For Cleveland, it opens up $5.6 million in salary cap space, helping them avoid the dreaded second luxury tax tier. That extra flexibility allows the Cavs to add at least 2 more players, meeting the league's 14-man roster minimum. Garland, just 25, is a dynamic scorer and elite shooter whose timeline matches perfectly with Doncic's. Hunter brings two-way versatility, and Strus would immediately upgrade LA's perimeter defense and outside shooting. Swartz envisions LeBron joining Cleveland's current All-Stars, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen, in the starting 5, with Bronny adding young energy to the mix. Losing Garland and Strus would require a bench shuffle, likely promoting Sam Merrill, with Lonzo Ball, Larry Nance Jr., and Dean Wade providing veteran support. In an Eastern Conference that's been shaken by injuries, this revamped Cavaliers squad could have just enough firepower to make a serious run at the NBA Finals, even before considering the potential return of Mitchell and Garland to full health, which has been a lingering concern for the franchise. The ripple effects of such a blockbuster deal would be felt across the NBA. For the Lakers, this trade would mark the official beginning of a post-LeBron era, but it wouldn't be a rebuild. Instead, acquiring Darius Garland, a 25-year-old all-star level point guard, gives them a dynamic long-term backcourt presence who can share the offensive load with Doncic. Garland's court vision, ball handling, and shooting ability would complement Luka's game perfectly. Adding DeAndre Hunter, a versatile wing defender, and Max Strus, a sharpshooting perimeter threat, gives the Lakers much-needed depth and balance, 2 things they've sorely lacked in recent playoff runs. From a front office perspective, this move signals that the Lakers are no longer willing to chase short-term fixes. Instead, they're positioning themselves around youth, durability, and long-term chemistry, a strategic pivot that could pay off big in the next 3 to 5 seasons. For Cleveland, the move is as much about legacy as it is about winning. Bringing LeBron James back to the Cavaliers, this time with his son, Bronny James in tow, would electrify the fanbase and rewrite NBA history. It's a rare chance for a father and son to share the court on the same team, in the same city where it all began. Beyond the emotional appeal, the Cavs would still have a strong core: Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, and now LeBron. While age and injury are concerns, James has shown time and again that he can rise to the occasion when the stakes are high. Bronny's development would also be in the spotlight. Though still a raw prospect, being mentored by his father and surrounded by seasoned veterans could accelerate his growth in a low-pressure role. It's a compelling narrative, and a massive draw for fans, sponsors, and national broadcasts. The Brooklyn Nets, often the forgotten third team in three-way deals, walk away with assets that fit their timeline. By absorbing Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, and a 2031 first-round pick, they gain defensive toughness and future flexibility. It's a quiet win for a team quietly retooling. Media reaction and fan buzz. The proposed trade has already sparked heavy debate across NBA Twitter and major sports outlets. Some analysts praise the move as a masterclass in strategic roster building, especially for LA and Cleveland. Others question whether LeBron can still carry a playoff team deep into June, or if Garland is the right piece to build around Luka in the West. Still, the storylines are irresistible. LeBron closing his career where it started. Bronny making his NBA debut alongside his father. A retooled Lakers team giving Doncic real help. Cleveland potentially becoming the center of the NBA universe again. It's a deal that could reshape the league, emotionally, strategically, and competitively. Now the only question is, who will pull the trigger first?